Hello everyone, and welcome to Inside Success. I'm Pooja Shah, the operations editor. Our session today is part of a special edition India's top 5 transformational leaders in technology 2025, where we are celebrating the people driving real change in the tech world. And at this moment, I'm delighted to be speaking with someone whose journey is as inspiring as it is impactful. So from his early years in a defense family to studying at IIT Kanpur, from building pioneering products to now leading Think Future Technologies into the future of AI and software development, he has consistently shown how vision, resilience, and innovation can come together. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Vijay Gupta, the CEO of Think Future Technologies. Thank you, Mr. Gupta, for joining us today.
Thank you, Pooja, for having me on this session.
To begin with, Mr. Gupta, I would really like to know, was there any early incident or any early influence that sparked your interest in technology or entrepreneurship?
Um, so this is kind of an anticlimax because when people ask me that question, they expect me to say yes. There was this event which led to my going up the technology ladder. But in fact, when I was in my second and third class, my father was in defense, as you pointed out, actually in Air Force,
Mhm.
and I always wanted to be a pilot, right? Air Force pilot, fighter pilot. But somehow, as you evolve, you walk into higher standards, things change, right? In class seventh, I was in Dhaka. My father was in defense. He was posted in Bangladesh in Dhaka. And I was put in a school. It was a missionary school. I mean, I went from a government school to a missionary school. So from kind of a Hindi language school to a very, top of the line English speaking school. Quite a radical transformation. But anyway, the point is, once I reached there in that school, uh, there was a teacher who came from a medical background. So he was studying MBBS. This I was in class seventh, and he was third or fourth year of MBBS. Very inspiring, motivational teacher, and probably I'll relate some incidents as we progress. But then I wanted to become a doctor, right? And this went till 11th and 12th standard. When I went to fill the form for that time, I think there was a different exam, uh, PMT or something used to be called, right? Uh, I found that I was not eligible because my age was, I think, a couple of months younger or whatever. So I did not meet the cutoff line. I think there was no such requirement for engineering, so I went for engineering. So that's how instead of becoming a medical doctor, I became an engineer. So yeah.
So, becoming an engineer, and then now it's like you are into the entrepreneurial journey. So, just wanted to know, were you always aware that you would become an entrepreneur, or did it just happen organically?
Yeah, I think, I've heard a lot of, I would say, big successful leaders say that they're at the right time at the right place. I would say that's what happened with me. When I graduated in 85, I spent around 4 years doing job.
Mm.
And then the personal computer revolution hit the complete world, right? India as
Yes.
well. So while before this, the personal computer was Apple computer, very expensive. Very few people had it. But then Microsoft came up with Windows. Kind of they copied Apple, but at a very low price point, almost one third the price of Apple computer. And suddenly, you did not need lakhs and crores of money in your bank to do a business. The capital requirement for doing business came down drastically. I mean, doing business became very democratized because you just required a computer. That's it. 30,000 rupees, 40,000 rupees computer, and you could do something. You could create a software. Uh, that, and the confidence of having studied at IIT. I mean, IIT is a wonderful institution, not only because of what they teach, but because of the kind of people it kind of attracts, and then you interact and you build friendships and you learn from so much from each other, and the confidence that rubs into you of being able to do anything, right? So I think that's what led us to say, okay, we want to be entrepreneurs, we want to do. And that time, not many people were doing products. Even the company we were working with, which was working on Apple computers, they were creating. Just to give you a background, they were creating language hooks or patches on an existing application like PageMaker. So you can think of it like you have MS Word, you create a patch that allows you to enter Hindi or English or Hindi or Telugu or Tamil and all that, but not something from scratch. So when PC happened, I mean, PC meaning Windows happened 1990, we thought we could build something from scratch, which could deliver very high quality printing and typesetting solutions on a personal computer. So that's how our entrepreneurial journey started.
That's very interesting. So, were there any people or few experiences or philosophies that have had the biggest influence on how you lead and make decisions today?
I think a lot of people. I mean, if I think about it, I can tell you about three definite incidents or philosophies of people, right? Again, I take you back to my seventh and eighth standard in Green Herald International School in Dhaka. So it was, as I mentioned, a missionary school. So missionary schools are staffed by sisters and mothers, right? So there
Yes.
was this principal, Sister Imelda. Uh, I think her approach to everything in life was so radical. I mean, I would say radical because I came from a very lackadaisical environment, doesn't matter, chalta hai kind of culture.
Mhm.
But she was so perfectionist, right? So one of the things, two things she changed. One is, I mean, in our time, the literacy means read, write,
Right.
arithmetic. Those are the three things, right?
The
So she
basics.
emphasized so much in writing and what I came to know later on as calligraphy. So how
Uh-huh.
you write beautifully, beautiful handwriting.
Yes.
She really emphasized that. I think the dominant figure and the motivational figure that she was, I think as a class, everybody's handwriting improved. But I got so bewitched by the ability to create these wonderful calligraphic
Designs.
handwriting. I simply, my handwriting, I think since then, I've been to 5 different schools because my father was in the Air Force. Everywhere I won the best handwriting competition.
Oh,
Uh, yeah. So that was one transformation. And she used to say, her maxim was compete against yourself. You improve every day. You kind of look at what you did yesterday and see how you can improve today, right? And later on, much later, I discovered Einstein having said the same thing, that if you improve 1% every day, in a year, you end up improving 33 times, right? So I think that was one incident, one person who impacted me deeply. Second was, of course, my teacher. I told you there was this medical professional who was teaching us science and social science. His name was Shamim Ahmed, medical professional, very smart looking guy, but more than smart, he was very a man of integrity, and he knew how to motivate people. So a lot of things that we later on came face to face in IIT Kanpur, he had introduced in our seventh standard. So normally our session would be 45 minutes, a lecture or a class for a particular subject. He would spend 35 minutes teaching about some particular
mhm,
topic.
mhm.
And then the last 10 minutes, he'll say, take out a piece of paper and he will ask you questions on what he has taught.
Oh,
And then so the motivation piece is still there. And this is just evaluation. This will
yes.
kind of a stick. But the carrot piece was he would give you people who maxed or topped, he would give them printed. So these were photos of fighter planes and beautiful cars on a glazed 2 feet by 1 foot kind of a printouts. and those were sought after by everybody, right? And again, whole class improved. I more than because um, probably I had some innate skill as well, but everybody in the class got motivated, and while their performance in mathematics and Hindi and English was not that great, but in social science everybody started going up. So that was the second person who kind of motivated a lot. And in terms of philosophy, I'll give you, and this is the third one I wanted to bring to you on, bring to this particular conversation. There's a company called BNI, Business Network International. I don't know if you heard of them. So these are kind of um, a group of entrepreneurs in a particular city who get together in different verticals in different fields, and they try to give business to each other. And
Okay.
their philosophy is, it's just two words. It's called givers gain. So when you are interacting, and they focus on more business, but somehow I realize this is true for life as well, personal life as well. So when you're interacting with someone in a business environment, don't ask for business, give business. See what you
Okay.
can give them. See what you can business you can give them. And they had a second maxim, which is what goes around comes around. So which means if you give business to somebody, someone will come up ending up giving business to you. So I think these three personalities and philosophies is something that impacted me a lot. And in fact, uh, when I talk to my employees and talk about how they should focus on relationships, one of the
Mm-hmm.
things that I tell them is givers gain. The even relationship, if you go with zero expectation, but you give, always give, you will improve tremendously, even in your personal relationships. Yeah.
I totally love it that how you tied those values into with the comparison of the relationships or
Yeah.
the three personalities that have impacted your life so much.
Yeah.
But when did you realize that it was time to build something larger, like think future technologies? And were you seeing any kind of gap during that time which you were aiming to solve?
Yeah. So I think the journey from being a product entrepreneur to TFT, service entrepreneur, was about 15 years. And during those 15 years, we did multiple products. And fairly successful products. The first one actually became so successful that it got pirated all over. Pirate, we used to give it with a lock, like a dongle, and so you
Yes.
attach the dongle to your PC and then you could work. But then obviously, it's logic, so somebody broke that.
Mm-hmm.
With the result, we had millions of copies floating around for 100 rupees CD types, right? But then what happened? The silver lining or a good byproduct was there was no competition because everybody wanted our product, and that became a gold standard for anything in publishing, right? But revenue-wise, we obviously took a hit because it's pirated, right? The police won't do much, or the legal. Even today, it's very hard to uh, legally address this problem of piracy, right? Then second product we did was in jewelry called Jewel Mesh, jewel industry. All along, I forgot to mention, and I should mention this. I had my partner, who's also my batchmate and a friend from IIT Kanpur. So we both were on this entrepreneurial journey.
Okay.
So the second product we did was jewelry called Jewel Mesh, and I think that changed our perspective because we tried to sell as a product and we sold it as a product, but there was a lot of some service component in each of the sale we made to a company. So the company we made a, let's say, jeweler we sold it to, they would have their own invoices, their own documentation, own process. To blueprint and map that on our software took 6 months for 3 4 guys. So we really didn't make any money. We had 250 plus customers even for that, but very hard. So obviously, we were married, we had kids, and we were still kind of in the entrepreneurial mode, not really as a successful company mode. So that's when we decided to kind of because we had a very good hold on products. We said, okay, there are a lot of service companies in India, but none of them kind of provide service with the rigor of a product company. Meaning, um, when you say rigor of a product company, the rigor of a product company ensures that whatever you make is scalable, is maintainable, um, is you can enhance it in a nice way. The code is very clean. It's written, is well tested. So those are the things that. So basically, you focus on quality, right? Uh, I think most of the service companies just are transactional. They kind of get a contract, do it, get it, done it. So when we started Think Future Technologies, we wanted to leverage our product development and product entrepreneurial skills. So that's what we brought to the table. So we started working with customers who in turn wanted to make products, but they didn't know how to do it because from engineering perspective, not from marketing, but purely from engineering perspective. So we had a lot of clients in, of course, US, but more also in Israel, because Israel that time 2010, 11 was known as startup nation. It's coming up. A lot of companies. In fact, every citizen in Israel, even today, wants to be an entrepreneur, wants to do a startup, and whether they have technical skills or not doesn't matter. They will have an idea, they want to do it. So they all required the skilled engineers they wanted to execute. So I think that's the premise we started with TFT, Think Future Technologies, that let's provide the rigor of product development to service companies.
That's a great insight. It specifically highlights the clarity and also the timing behind
Yeah,
TFT's creation.
yeah.
So, what was your vision for TFT when you started it? Has that vision changed over time, or it is still the same that you're carrying forward?
Yeah, good question. Actually, somehow, I've been brought up, I don't know, my mindset works differently. I never after numbers, I was never after growth. But I did want to, you might have heard journey has its reward. So I believe in that. For me, when people talk of ends and means, uh, people talk of earning money as end. For me, it's a reverse. For me, doing something, developing something, having employees enjoy what you're doing, having customers having a great experience, wow experience, that journey itself is a reward. So what I did, and I tell my employees as well, that what you should be focusing on is to provide your customer with a wow experience, awesome experience, right? And that you can only provide if you are competent, technically competent, you communicate well, you ask the right questions, you deep dive into what they're doing and kind of see whether it makes sense. Don't just agree to what customer is saying. And that's why we are very successful in Israel, because Israelis love if you ask questions. Versus Americans, they don't really care whether you ask questions. They're all very goody goody. I'm sorry for being put talking about these cultural differences, but it's very important, right? So I think it's very important. So to answer your question, my vision was obviously to build, to grow, Think Future Technologies, but more importantly, have people who can be my ears and eyes, who can be, and in that I follow the Israeli model. And Israeli army, when they go in the field, a lot of these teams, they are given independence to take their own decision. They can do what they want. They don't have to. It doesn't have to be hierarchical. I think I believe very much in that, and that's how I want my team, my leadership team, to come up, to be facing customers, come with ideas. In fact, what has happened while we build this. So we started with being product entrepreneurs, came into service mode. Then about 8 years back, a lot of our employees wanted to do products because service has its own taboos. People feel you have to do whatever customer asks you to. They could be a migration project. It may not be very enjoyable. It's not very interesting, right? So I said, okay, we understand that, but we have to keep our cash flow going. So that is the most important thing. However, if you guys feel you want to do products, right? I'm happy to work on 2 or 3 ideas at a time. And you form the team, I'll invest. You form the team and you work on it. And as on date today, we have 4 products, all ideated by employees, all executed by employees in parallel to what they're doing in projects, right? And we are also starting to get traction from customers on those products. Uh, so I think my vision has always been uh, to lead our our people to become leaders, kind of, right? So they themselves can do what the company wants to do. Of course, we have a vision, we have a mission, we have guardrails, we have what we want to do this, we don't want to do that. But within that ambit of that framework, they can do what they want to do.
So, if we talk about that evolution, it is very fascinating. Especially the vision always remains the same. It's just that there is a need to be adaptable, which should not lose the core essence of what the vision is, the mission is. I guess that evolution is very fascinating.
Yeah, because the vision mission is more strategic, and then
Yes.
I believe like now strategy is one thing, but the actual execution. I'm a firm believer in execution. I want to execute things very quickly. I want to execute fast. I think if you ask me one trait I would look for people when I hire, it's execution bias.
From employees' perspective, also, it is very great that they have the freedom to work on something
Yeah.
they really want to instead of just being
Yes.
pressurized and continuously, monotonously work on the same thing.
Correct. And as well as while you may want to do what you enjoy, there's a
Yes.
hard truth of life. You also have to do things for earning your daily bread. So,
Yes.
you have to balance both the things. Yeah.
So, moving ahead, what were some of the biggest challenges that you must have faced while scaling TFT, and how were you able to overcome them?
Yeah. Again, a great question. I think if you ask me one challenge, it will be people. So, as I said, we wanted to be a people company, people driven, employee first, give freedom to people. But when you're a company of 4 people or 5 people, which is what we were as a product company, how do you get people? How do you attract talent? That are the biggest challenge with us. And then if once you attract, how do you retain talent? That's number two talent challenge. I think those were the biggest challenge. And I can write a PhD. I think people can give me a PhD in HR because that's how. So we have evolved so many rules, so many tweaks we have done, how to hire people, how to because now you have offer shopping nowadays, right? So people,
Mhm.
when you offer somebody, he'll take your offer, go to next company and try to get a better
Yeah.
offer. So how do you
Yes.
manage the whole process so that he joins you? And once he joins you, how do you ensure that he remains attached, attracted? I mean, you can't put a gun on his head and say, "We work for it." So you have to create an environment, you have to create mechanisms so that he stays with you, right? And then there is an appraisal process. See, even we put some of the things, basic things, we took a conscious decisions. One, our salary will never go beyond first of next month. It has to be paid on first. Even if you beg, borrow, steal, doesn't matter. So that was we were very clear that the salaries of employees have to go on time. So I think that we have been able to execute. Touch wood. So that has worked out very very well for us. Uh, yeah, and I lost my train of thought. What are the question otherwise?
Some of
Yeah,
the
HR. Yeah,
challenges.
HR. So yeah, HR. I think we keep on working. So my HR team is very good, and I keep on. I think if you ask me, even today's my 60 to 70% work is HR. I oversee people, I oversee hiring, I oversee recruitment, I oversee the strategy, what areas we need to scale. I oversee the training, I oversee the skilling. How do you skill them? So and recruitment, how do you recruit better? And also, if people don't join, I make it a point, recruitment, that we need to get a feedback from people who don't join. Why they have not joined? What is the reason? You follow them, through phone calls or messages or whatever, but we want that because we want to improve, right? Uh, when we started, our Glassdoor rating was nowhere, and then right now, I think we're at 4.4 out of 5, and we still want to improve further. Yeah. So I think to answer your question, human resource, their development, their progress, and their retention. Those are the three big challenges that we faced.
Okay. So, thank you for sharing such valuable information because I guess for any company, turning those challenges into stepping stones is a lesson I guess
Yeah.
every leader should and can relate to.
Yeah.
So, moving ahead, how did you and PFT navigate the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah, I think we never felt that was a challenge. I'll tell you why. So there was a employee, Neha. I won't give her full name, though I can. I mean, it's in a very nice way. So she joined us in 2012, right? 2018, her husband was he had a job in Guwahati, IIT Guwahati. She became a faculty. She had to travel there, and I mean, she just put her resignation. And I'm very particular about resignations. I think I'm the first person to talk to whenever the resignation is there. I want to talk to the person. I want to find out what the reason is and all. My HR also talks, but I prefer, especially beyond a certain level experience, I prefer I do it before my HR comes talks to me. So I talked to her, and she said, obviously she was different initially. She wouldn't articulate what the reason was, but I was persistent, and then she said, no, no, my husband, personal problem, this that. I got it. I said, no worry, because we are in service industry. You don't have to be in my office, right? Even though we have a big office, but you can work from home. And I'll give you a laptop. I'll give you everything. You just need a connection from there. And you anyway working with a customer who's based in US, so it really doesn't matter for us. And that nobody was doing work from home. But that also gave me an idea that I think it's important to not have desktops, and because a lot of times our employees needed to work in the night. So we slowly started phasing out desktops and replacing them with laptops. And when COVID happened in 2020, right, we were kind of prepared in sense of infrastructure. We already had laptops. People were already working from home. People who used to work after, because that time, if you, I don't know if you remember, even now they have the rule. If you have a lady employee, and we have 30% of our workers as women, if you're a lady employee working after 7:30 p.m., you need to give her a security guard in the cab, right? So that became an extra expense and all. So I think, and so we started saying, okay, why wait till that? Let her go home and work from home, right? So we were pretty much ready with for work from home when it happened. So it was not a big change. Yes, I think we were also lucky in the sense our business, it seemed to be affected by COVID initially, first 3 months. In fact, we cut everybody's salary by 5%. Everybody came to me, no, no, sir, if you want, you can cut our salary, is this. So we cut 5% salary for first 3 months. But then our business actually started growing. So when it started growing, we paid back that 5% we had cut to the employees. And we thankfully didn't have to let go anybody. Maybe one or two cases might have happened, but that could be due to a variety of reasons. So I think to answer your question, we were kind of ready with for COVID, and while COVID might have been a bad thing for a lot of other guys, I think for us at TFT, it has been wonderful. Two reasons. One is, of course, um, our business grew, and I can get into the reasons why it grew. But more importantly, people worked from home. Everybody, they were happy because they were with parents, and they were in cities where they probably never could dream of staying with their parents and working. And also our target market or target acquisition market, where we're acquiring employees, that grew. Instead of just being in Delhi NCR, you could look at whole of India, right? And as on day, we have people in Bhopal, we have people in Indore, we have in Chennai, we have in Bangalore, Kolkata, all over places, Jammu. And so I think it has also helped us in quality and volume of number of people that we're able to hire from different parts of India. So COVID for us has been a boon.
Thank you for sharing that story. I believe that adaptability is very commendable. It
Yeah.
specifically reflects the strong culture the company has for its employees. So, moving ahead, how do you stay updated and inspired as a leader, especially in such a dynamic ecosystem?
Yeah. So, Of course, there's a lot of material available, and you can read, and you go to conferences, you kind of interact with your peers, you see what is the best practices. But again, I think um, for me, my employees, because I ensure that they are up to date with the latest tech, they're up to date with the latest um, processes, verticals, what different verticals are, having different use cases. So I think more than me, it's my leadership, the next level leadership, and my employees who need to be updated. And I think we provide that ecosystem. We provide them variety of mechanisms by which they stay updated. I'll just name two. So means the ideal scenario would be when the CEO doesn't have to do anything because everything is working like a clockwork, right? So that's what we want to be where we are, because then I can focus on something else, right? Uh, so one is when these guys join us, right? So as I told you, they're working on a project. So there's a customer who has a product or who has some software to be developed, and these guys work with them. But suppose they're working on a particular tech stack, let's say Node.js. But this guy wants to be a full stack engineer, which means he wants to do React or Angular and all. So in fact, in our business software, we call it demand-based fulfillment. It's an in-house software which our employees have made. Uh, we have a field which is your area of interest. What do you want to do next? Beside what you're good at, what is it that you want to do more? And when we are having a new project, we not only look at your competency, we also look at your area of interest. So what we do is, so if a team requires, let's say, 8 people, so we have 8 regular people who need to have that competency, but we'll have 2 shadows whose area of interest is that area, but they don't themselves know, or maybe at a lower level of skill. We require level maybe as an expert, they're at intermediate or lower, right?
Mhm.
So what we do is we say, okay, this is a main project. You need to spend full time here because the client is going to pay you full time. But you could sign up as a shadow in one of these projects where that which is an area of interest. What that does is, if you tell somebody to read something, train something, he'll do something, he'll forget because he's not applying anywhere. But here, here's a live project. The project
Mhm.
manager will give him one ticket. So you spend even 5 hours a week is good enough. 6 hours a week, good enough. So 1 hour every day is good enough, right? But overall, he takes, maybe he works on Saturday or works on Friday and all that. But this is, by the way, this is his personal time, right? In the
Right.
sense beyond the office time, right?
Yes.
Um, kind of, because we actually have 45 hours, 9 hours a day. We say 8 hours you work for the client, 1 hour is extra. So if you can in
Mhm.
some way accumulate, you can work as a shadow. So
Okay.
people who are very interested, they also put in 36 hours a week because they want to learn very quickly. But anyway, the point here is we give them a live project to work on to build their competency. Now, if they were on bench, it'll be very hard because as a company, you bench, you're paying salaries, you want to do something. That also happens. So we also put them as full shadows. But the idea is that this shadow process allows our guys to be not only updated, but they also can decide if this is what they want to be. At the end of 6 months or one year, they're as good as the other frontline engineers because they're working on live project. They're talking to the customer. They're understanding. They're listening how the communication goes. Right. Those reading between the lines, and they see how the senior resources how they work. Right. How they execute. So all that becomes a great experience for them. So this is one of them. The other is like a lot of these guys, now of course there's AI and everything, but still, if you want to take a lecture, you want to sign up for a course. So what we did is we subscribed for one of the two, I think Coursera probably, uh,
Mhm.
or Udemy, one of these two.
Yeah.
We subscribed for around 40 odd licenses, and
Right.
people can so for them it's come free. And we also have a mechanism to curate for each tech which are the good courses, so people can
Yes.
go in, sign up, and then start using it. So I think these are two of the examples where I have my employees keep updated with the tech.
Mhm.
And of course, we have variety of sessions. We have tech. We have tech week. Um, we have a tech talk where people come and say if they've discovered something new, they take a lecture and people who are interested can join and listen to it. So yeah, I think rather than me keeping updated, it's important my employees keep updated, and I provide them the mechanism and ecosystem so that they keep updated.
Right now, through your words, I can feel the energy that your employees have. That's very
Mhm.
refreshing. It's very uncommon.
Yeah,
And at the same time, it shows how learning and curiosity remain central, even at the top level or medium level. Because today you must be a shadow of some person, but tomorrow you are an expert. So
correct.
it clearly shows I can totally relate to the energy and I can feel the
Mhm.
vibe.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, good
Yes.
to hear. Yeah.
So if we talk about, okay, for now, I guess we'll change the gears a little bit and
Mm,
we'll talk
mm.
about the future things. So what is your vision for the future of TFT in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, good question. Um, so Pooja, the way things are changing. Um, so again, my background is product entrepreneur. So we always kind of, even though we always think that way. So when we start make products, and I mean, I'll tell you the key difference between product and service. People keep on talking about products and service. Uh, Actually, there's no difference otherwise. The only difference is product you make it in a way that multiple users can use it. Service is heavily customized. So like if you go to a mall, you get now you have shirts which are large, medium, small. That's it, three, and you have to fit yourself to one of the three. But people are not like that.
Mhm.
Similarly, customers are not like that. Each customer has his own process, his own business. Today they
True.
might buy SAP. It takes them 2 years to fit their flows to SAP. Right? We want to reach a level which do the reverse. We want to create technology, software, whatever you want to call it, to fit the customer's flows. So, to give an example, by the way, I mean, maybe I'm speaking too soon, but we are also working on a healthcare app, right? So, there we want to provide doctor's prescription, medication,
Mhm.
adherence, handling as per your personality, as per your biochemistry, as per your metabolism. Your metabolism is different from anybody, even though you're a human being, fine, but still
Yes.
everybody is different. I think coming same thing come back to business. My and now you can see AI with AI, this increasingly this what happening. You have digital twin of a person,
Mhm.
you have a
Mhm.
digital twin of a machine. So even though there are two planes, exactly same Boeing 777, but their digital twin will be different on basis of what they have gone through, undergone so far, how you have maintained it, how you have handled it, right? So same way, I think we want to reach a stage where we are able to put together a lot of these components to create a product that addresses how you work, you as a customer work, rather than building a product and they saying, yeah, Lelo, do what you want, but this is what it is. You change your flows to match this. Nobody nowadays, nobody wants to learn anything. People, in fact, I told you about products, I told you about services. What we're doing right now is the intermediate called managed services, which means we have products or solutions on top of which we provide service to the customer. Customer कहता है कि यार, don't get into, I don't want to learn your product.
Mhm.
This is what I want. This is the outcome I want. Can you do it for me or not? I'll pay you for this. So you bring your product, you make your flows, you build on top of it what you want to do. Give me the outcome. We want to go a step further. We say we'll create something that will address the customer needs from scratch and in a jiffy. So think of it this way: there is a company set of rules. So
Mhm.
in company, what do you have? You have employees, you have customers and vendors, employees, custom vendors. You have operations, which is HR and accounts and finance and IT. And the fourth piece is compliance and governance. So if you can put all this in a document, you have a company.
Mhm.
And if I can put everything in a document and I can run it through my software, It produces all that has to be done in terms of automation, in terms of processes, in terms of IT. Everything is done now. I don't need to go for HR software. I don't need to go for ECI, CRM, Salesforce. This I don't need them because I may actually end up using them through an API in some way. But per se, I don't need that interface. I don't need to learn all that, right? So I think that's where, just to give you insight, where we want to be and where we are positioning ourselves to be.
It's a very clear picture. So, since you've already mentioned about that you are into, yeah, you are going to move ahead with healthcare app. So, I specifically want to ask this question: are there any other industries or technologies you're particularly excited to explore further? Or you can also explain us more about the healthcare app you were talking about.
Yeah, I think it ties in very nicely with my, as I mentioned, I wanted to be a pilot, and I wanted to be a doctor, right? So I think this ties in very nicely with my, let's say, childhood dreams, if I may say, right? Uh, I I just told you about, hyper personalization. I think we now have the tools to achieve that, and healthcare is so very important to me, because people may have all the money the world has, but if their health
It's
is
not
not
in the
there,
right. Yeah.
cannot enjoy, right? And I think when you're talking of health, it's not only um, what shall I say, lifeline, meaning how many years you live. It is how well you live. So there are two distinctions nowadays: lifespan, which is a number of years you live, and then health span, how well do you live. So I think I want to focus more on the health span piece. A lot of people are working on this, but I think
Okay.
with the combination of tech that we have access to and AI and all that, and our product expertise where we know how to provide that experience to the end user, right? So that, I mean, it's all about experience. Sometimes you'll find you want to use an application because it provides you good experience. It tells you what you want to do at that time. You want to hear about it, right? So for instance, if you're a diabetic, you don't want the app to tell you your glucose level is high. You want the app to tell you, okay, this is what you need to eat now, or this is what you not need to eat. This is now you want to do exercise, and this kind of exercise,
A
or this much
precise
portion to
solution.
it. So they want solutions, right? They don't want to have all that gyan, right? So I think we are now in a position with our app. It's called Y Health, where
Mhm.
we can deliver such insights to the user, and while we deliver to the user, his doctors can also see what's happening, and they can kind of intervene if required. So nowadays there's a concept of a concierge doctor. So if you go to a hotel, you have a concierge where he takes your all your questions and answers. So there's a concierge doctor who is available on the drop of a hat, right? He can be useful only if he has visibility of everything, what your blood reports, your correlation, and all that. So I think we are reaching that stage, and with that app, we want to achieve that, right? Now, so while healthcare is one field, it touches a lot of other verticals. It touches pharmaceuticals, big field,
Yeah.
big vertical.
Yes.
It touches insurance because insurance needs to, healthcare, medical insurance, and all. And of course, you have doctors and patients. So I think these three combinations. So we entered healthcare, but now we are doing all the three.
So wishing you the best in the journey ahead for this.
Thank you so much.
If I may ask, what differentiates TFT in today's competitive technological landscape?
Again, I'll say my people. And while I think it's competitive in that sense, it's not all that competitive. I mean, today I have more business, touch wood, than I can execute. The reason being, with advances in technology in AI, every company wants to be a tech company, and for that they need help. For that they need right way to do it. So you may have a company which is making fertilizers, has nothing to do with tech, but still now is transforming into a tech company.
Hmm.
Why? Because they know if they don't embrace tech, their business will get shut.
Yes.
So uh, that's what is I think happening with a lot of these companies. And so, what differentiates us is the fact that we have people and technology both. So now with advances in tech, there's so many things available. But if you don't know which one to use and how to use, and if you haven't had prior experience with that, it'll not, because nobody's going to wait for 1 month or 2 months. People
Yes.
want solution yesterday. So you have to execute very fast. You can only do that if you've already experienced all that. So you always have to be in that research mode and experimental mode and beta mode to keep on testing a lot of things which are available, comparing and all. So while when we deliver, it looks very simple. Hey, you don't do you this, put this together, but there's been a lot of background work that has gone into it. And I
Mm.
think I want my employees to be in a position where they're continuously doing this background work so that we can, as and when there is a bigger competition, we can really do better than them, right? So I think that will be our competitive mode, our people with this technology.
That surely stands out. Since we are talking a lot about tech, what upcoming technology trends do you believe will define the next decade?
Yeah, Pooja, everybody has heard of AI, chat GPT and all.
Yes.
But you see, all this is still in data centers. You need a laptop to access it, right?
Mhm.
You have seen some of them, maybe Tesla car is here and there, but largely they are still in the data centers. I think soon you will find that uh, soon you will find that this is going to come out of labs and uh, come to the, what shall I say, to your drawing rooms, to your rooms, to your city, to your apartment complex you stay with. So soon you will have your assistants, your personal assistants. Everybody will have, like, everybody had a personal computer. Everybody will have a personal robo, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's going to happen. Now that will open up so many business opportunities, right? People talk about AI, people losing jobs to AI. Of course, they'll lose. Every technology trend, right from industrial revolution to now, has resulted in loss of some jobs, but then a lot more new have added. I think once this AI and robotics comes out of the lab, out of the data centers on the ground, you will have many more applications that's going to come up.
It's very thought provoking. I'm sure our viewers will have a glimpse into the future that they should be prepared for. They should
Yeah.
know what they are going to face in the future and they should be ready for it.
Yeah, I
So,
think I'll add one thing. I just remembered a very
yes,
interesting aspect. So I think all of us would have seen Star Wars, right?
yes.
And there is a character, there's a robo, very cute looking robo, you R2D2. So
Uh-huh.
that keeps on, it's got a wheel and make those sounds, which are very cute sounds. So I think that's where you're going, right? People will have their own R2D2s.
Even for cleaning our houses, we have a
Oh
robo
yes,
now.
yes, yes, yes. That's already happening, right?
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yes. So now moving ahead, now we have heard about your impressive journey, like how initially you wanted to be a pilot, then a doctor, but now you are an entrepreneur. So, to your younger self, if you want to give one piece of advice, what would it be?
Take more risk. I think I think even now, a couple of, not only younger self, even now, like 2 years back, I was planning to diversify into semiconductors, designing chips and all,
Mhm.
but just couldn't execute it. We made a business plan, everything, but just couldn't execute it. So I think taking risk is so very important for everybody. They need to, of course, have some stability, but beyond it, people who have, their roti kapda makan is taken care of, they should take a risk.
Yes.
Without risk, you're not going anywhere.
Yes. There's a very common Bollywood movie dialogue, risk hai to ishq hai. But that
Ah,
ishq is in many forms. It is
yes,
going to build your future.
correct.
So
Yeah,
yes,
even for ishq,
that's
you need to take risk, right? Otherwise, if you are sitting
yes.
in your room, obviously you won't have ishq with anybody. So yeah, makes sense.
Thank you for sharing that timeless wisdom. Something I guess the viewers will take to heart and start their journey soon. And one last question from my end is, what advice would you give to aspiring tech leaders who are aiming to make a transformational impact?
Again, it's something that I look into the prospective employees, which is execution bias. I think people have to execute. They can't just be discussing ideas ad infinitum, right? So you have to execute things. And again, it reminds me of incident. When me and my partner, we were first product. Uh, my partner was a brilliant software programmer. He was a perfectionist.
Mhm.
The problem with perfectionist is that you don't get the product to the market. So we started in 1991, and then we were in 95. We still didn't have a release of the product because it'll keep on undergoing different iterations, right? So what I did was I booked a booth. So in Pragati Madan, we had an exhibition. I think we still have it biannually. It's called Print Pack. So I booked a booth which gave an artificial deadline, which is October 95. So when that happened, I was able to take whatever we had, that product, and release it to the market. And it was good enough because there is a saying that perfection is the enemy of good. So the customers don't want perfect product. They want something that is 20% better than what they have, 50% better. They don't want something which just is ideal, right? So I think to people aspiring youngsters, or people who want to become entrepreneurs, they should always look at execution, how to execute quickly. And two more important points. A lot of people start looking for money, where to get money. I think you cannot look for money till you have built something.
Mhm.
So you have an idea, nobody will give you money for idea. All ideas are good. In our business, they say all ideas are good. Point is how much you've executed and how much you can show me that idea in terms of a prototype, in terms of a MVP. So build
Mhm.
an MVP, maybe take 3, 4. Nowadays, it doesn't take much time, 3 months maybe. Build an MVP which shows your commitment and also allows the viewer to look at it, right? And more importantly, it also protects your IP because anybody who copies it will take 3 months to make it. You already have it, so you have a lead, right? So that's number two. Uh, Money, uh, and I think money is there. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to say. Execution bias, and don't look for money immediately. Build something and then look for money once you're built.
That's a very powerful message. Thank you for sharing that, Mr. Gupta. And I guess it's exactly the kind of encouragement today young leaders need. So thank you so much once again for sharing that. And I guess with this, I'm already done with all the set of questions that I had. But if you want to highlight something that have has been missed or something you want to share with our viewers, so you can.
Yeah, I would like to definitely. So first of all, thank you for this session. I think as I was speaking to you, I was going back in time, and my memory, I have very pleasant memories with my, friends earlier. I still remember a lot of those names, especially that transformative period I mentioned in Dhaka. I remember almost names of my peers, my teachers. So thank you for bringing that up. Uh, I think one of the things I would definitely like to outline, is um, people should build something here in India. I mean, they just can't be looking for jobs. I think people have to be more entrepreneurial. People have to go out and do something and actually be a job giver rather than just being job seeker. Um, and I think this people crib about a lot of things. We don't have this, we don't have that. Agreed. But whatever we have, I think as that's what entrepreneur is. He or she works in uncertainties. He thrives on uncertainties actually, right? And problems, there are so many problems to be solved. Not one. There's waterlogging. I'm in Kurgaon. You have water, you get waterlogged. Fine, you can blame the system. Yeah, but let's find solutions to it. And I think all of us can put to our head can definitely find solutions rather than blaming people. So if I think the mind is that we have to build something, we have to solve problems. We have all the tech. If our previous generation have done so much work, like the human knowledge, if you see, has been built on so many past generations, right? So you have all that to utilize, to leverage, and solve problems. Yes, ma'am.
So with this, thank you so much, Mr. Gupta, for taking time to share your journey and insights with us. On
Thank you,
behalf
Pooja.
of yes, on behalf of the entire team of Insight Success, it's been such a pleasure hearing about your experiences, your vision for TFT, and also your thoughts on the future of technology.
Yeah.
I'm sure our viewers will take away a lot of inspiration from your story, and we wish you and your team all the best in the future ahead.
Thank you, Pooja, for having me, and thank you, Insights, for having me here. Really enjoyed the session. Take care. Bye bye. All the best to your
Bye.
viewers.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.